here. I should be sitting on that side. I feel like.
No.
Because you're the fucking guy. No, he's the subject, and I'm the fucking.
We
all know it's Burger.
I know. I think it looks
up,
better.
everybody. So, we're with Steph. But for everybody who doesn't know, Steph, can you let them know your whole name, hometown?
My name is Stephen Koehne. A lot of people call me Steph. From Kilauea, Kauai. So I grew up with Blak Bear, or Teva, the founder of Blak Bear. And once upon a time, I was, yes, not too long ago, but I was a pro surfer over there on North Shore, representing the contingent of Kauai boys.
You'll be getting a spread or a cover every winter, bro. Oh, it's a spread, page, half page. You're the off the wall guy. Put in the time and off the wall and actually get those crazy freaking closeouts, and you come out the spread. And how was it? Growing up, and when you first showed up to the North Shore, how was that experience?
I did put in a lot of time on the North Shore, and I think that when I first moved over there, it was just. It was nuts, man. Like I was kind of like the runt, I'd say.
Right.
It was kind of like Braden and Kai and Chava that were sort of over there early days, and then Bruce and Andy, and then it was like Fuller and Barca and Roy Powers and Amayan and Merle, and then I kind of just strung along with those guys. But growing up, it was nuts. Surfing with Bruce and Andy, they were literally the best surfers in the world at that time, and. You show up to the North Shore, and from Hawaii, from Kauai, but not from the North Shore. So, got to put in your time. No problem there. Living front row on the beach, riding for Volcom, and just immersed in the action. Like just 0 to 100 real quick. And so, I felt like I did a good job at finding my niche. I wasn't quite the competitive surfer. At that time, it was like the surf industry was just blistering hot, with...
There's a lot of money in the industry.
The resources were there. The different sort of avenues or branches that you could go off on were there. You had free surfers, you had competitive surfers, and you had both people that were just good at marketing. So, I just kind of told myself, actually... I think it was Strider that I heard it one day. Well, basically for me, I showed up North Shore, kind of smoked a bunch of weed that first winter.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, the winter was gone.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, man.
It's done. Like,
I gotta change things up. So like, I wasn't getting paid at all.
Yes.
I was like, man, if I'm gonna make it if I'm not gonna go to college, I'm gonna really pursue this as a serious thing.
That's my dream, right?
I gotta kind of get my head out of my ass, and so
I
quit smoking, and just the next winter came up just ready to rock and roll, and I just kind of told myself, like, so one day we're cruising, and I heard Strider I think we were talking or something at the Quick House, because he was our neighbor at the time next to Volcom, and he just like, man, the key to success is just worrying about your own shit. And I just went, yep, you know what, I can't be over here looking at what Barker's doing or what Fuller's doing or what Andy or Bruce are doing. I gotta just figure out my own lane, my own vertical. And so I did. I would always be able to pipe and surf and pipe backdoor, but ultimately, like, off the wall was such a heavy duty wave that not too many people really wanted to mess with, except like the international guys, because they couldn't get as many waves out at pipe and backdoor. So, and I just kind of like went for the photo thing. It's like there's not as many perfect waves out there like backdoor, but man, the photos you can get it's actually better. It's more photogenic. So I just really focused on trying to get the prettiest photos. My mentality was, I want to try to get a shot that when it comes across, at that time there were surf mags, and it was slides, and when it hits the light table, the editors can't say no.
Right.
It just like catches their eye, that first impression where they just go, oh, fuck, we're running this.
Yeah, it's too good of a photo not to run.
Yeah, so that's kind of where my niche was.
You found your specialty, like what you're good at. You found.
I just was like, I'm a dark skinned, green eyed Hawaiian. Fucking the sun looks good on my skin. I'm gonna try. I run a gold chain. I'm gonna fucking try to just make this thing really pretty and doll it up so that, man, these guys see it, they're like, fuck, we're running it.
Crazy part is these days there's not even like your career. You made a freaking surf career off of packing closeouts and surfing off the wall, and that job doesn't really exist anymore. You know what I mean? There was like a hardcore crew of guys. It was, you know, it's like you. Who did you have to say? Like, who was like, who, when you were sitting out there, who did you catch sitting next to you? Like, oh, like these are like the off the wall guys. Like, do you remember kind of like who was around near you? Like, who did you used to sit by? Do you kind of?
You know, I think at first, like when I'd be out there off the wall, there'd be Gavin Beshin was always out there, right? Reef would come out too, and McCullough. You know, Ian Walsh would be out there sometimes. Merle and Moody then would be on the lefts.
Right.
And then there'd be Aussies, you know, next you know, guys started Jamie would come out too. I think guys started to pay attention to like, oh man, like
there's potential.
This place produces. But I mean, even way before that, it was like, the off-the-wall guys were like Archie, and you know there was guys before that. Koehne, I think, was off-the-wall.
Koehne's one of the OGs. He kind of was getting spreads and all that.
All
too.
Those guys really got good waves at backdoor too, and
yeah.
I'd have my fair share of backdoor too. But sometimes it's just, you know, it's like okay, backdoor's firing, and Sonny, Makua, Poncho, Marcus, Barca, Andy. I mean, dude, right there, it's like that's a
some
whole
heavy
set.
hitters right there.
You know what I mean? So it's like. Yeah, I could sit out there all day, or even like some swells could go by and I wouldn't even really see the inside of a real fat barrel. Or yeah, off the wall doesn't have as many makeable ones, but at least I can fucking drop in and fucking stand in a barrel the size of my fucking living room and get a vision, and some of them are makeable. And at the very least, you get a fucking sick-ass fisheye photo, you know? So that's where my mentality was. It's like, you know what, at least I'm gonna see the inside of a fucking fat barrel. And a lot of times it was, you know, like I said, I just would get up really early and I'd be on it and hit it when the sun was just coming over the hill, and it was just that early morning golden light, and I just caught on that, oh man, this is a full-blown little niche. And then, you know, you get the right photo, boom, next thing you know, your sponsors are buying it out to use in their ad campaign like everywhere, and yeah, it just became a full little thing. But I think at the end of the day, it really did come down to there being the resources there, you know, to provide that sort of lane.
Right. And what's like the most memorable ride you had in like just that whole stretch of beach right there? You have one of those?
My ride,
like me? For you.
So yeah, the most memorable ride for me was, I think it was there was some sort of concert going on in town.
Okay.
And everybody was going to it, but I pipe was kind of funky in the morning, you know, second reefing, huge, and everyone's like, it's kind of shitty, but for some reason I was like, fuck, you know what, I think it's gonna get good. And I just was like, fuck, I'm gonna hang, I'm not gonna really go to this concert. And so sure enough, like, you know, pipe is, freaking tide changes, wind clocks a few degrees, and all of a sudden it's firing. So boom, we see a couple good ones. I fly out there, I'm kind of out there hanging out. Next thing you know, Derek Ho comes out, Uncle D comes out. Next thing you know, Corey's out there, and I'm like, oh nice. Yeah, like the hitters are out.
Right.
And this crazy fucking wave came into me, and I thought I could get it, and man, the thing just got under me and slapped out so hard, and Corey was going for it, and I called him off of it, and then I ultimately pulled back. And I remember he just kind of like looked at me and gave me this look like, oh, you fucking pussy. And I was like, man, the next fucking wave I paddle for, I'm going no matter.
Yeah, no matter if I eat
die
shit,
if I'm gonna die or not, you're going.
You have that look, motivate Corey, just give me that look.
Yeah,
fuck, like, man.
Fuck. Because I know he would have went.
Yeah. Corey's like, what? Why'd you call me up?
Yeah. So, boom, like the very next set that came in was like, I did what I said I was gonna do. Fucking took this Hail Mary drop. Fucking came up, no grabbed, and got blown out into the channel. And I remember kicking out, and Slater was right there paddling out, and he gave me some compliment. And then that was like before Wave of the Winter, but that was like part of their 6 weeks of the North Shore thingy. And boom, the next thing it was on Surfline, and fucking all these views, and
it blew up.
Yeah, that was probably my best ride for sure. That was like.
Was that when you still stayed at the Bolcom? Were you still on Bolcom then?
I just kind of got on Reef, and I mean, yeah, it's crazy. There's like, I got so much coverage on Surfline. I think I got 2 or 3 spreads from that one wave. So it was nuts. It's like there was you could do that back then. Right?
Yeah.
There were mornings at Off the Wall where one wave I had 4 spreads.
Really?
4 different magazines.
Right.
One wave.
So that's the crazy part. Like, bro, you were like, when I was growing up, I remember all those spreads and stuff, and you're like, literally, that was, you come to the North Shore, 3-4 months, do your thing, and just blow up, and you're like, okay, boys, I'm gonna go to Tahiti now, and I'm gonna go to Ibindo, freaking, but that was like the dream, and like, that was a dream, that was like, you know, you can't do that anymore. Well, you can, but you gotta like, you gotta be able to market yourself, and like you said, you gotta find your niche, and you found your niche, and that's the cool thing, and it's still possible to do that right now with social media and all of that, right? You can market. It's almost like you can market yourself now better because you don't have to go all the editors. What do you think about all of that with what's going on with?
You know, I'm 39, so but by the time social media was being introduced and really like a platform that was kind of infiltrating the whole thing, it was just always steered to like the younger genre. So I don't know. It's interesting because yes, like you said, it's way more convenient. Like you don't have to wait around on some editor depicting like how things go. So in that sense, it's offered like people. It's given the individuals the reins. So there's positives there. I don't know, but then again, in a way, it's like that song. Video killed the radio star.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like it's almost like
it's true. It's
I don't know. It's done good and it's done bad. You know, I don't know. But
there's
I think
mixed
at the end of the day,
emotions.
it's like people, if they're creative and they're hungry enough, they're gonna find a way to make things happen. And yes, it's been a positive because they can do it on their own sort of time and their own timeline, I guess, or agenda. You know.
Right. And then what's like your ideal conditions? Like this is like my favorite kind of day to surf. Backdoor, off the water pipe, like you're like what, you know, swell direction, size.
I mean, fuck, I really liked it all. My ideal conditions, I'm backsided pipe. I like fucking 8 to 10 foot first reef heavy pipe. You know, it's like it's pretty hard, but when you get a good wave, it's
amazing. It's second to none feeling, right?
But I also don't mind like solid offshore 6 to 8 foot off the wall and backdoor too, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. They're both good.
That's epic. And then those good conditions. Who was your go-to shaper and fins, and what were you using and stuff? Your equipment, because equipment is everything in surfing, right?
Yeah, I mean, the equipment I used to use a lot of times were Tokoros, and then towards the end there I was riding Glen Pang boards. And
okay.
I mean, I'd say the best wave I ever got at backdoor was on Eric Arakawa, though.
Right.
Tonino Benson flaked on picking up his quiver of boards, and Reef McIntosh was like, "Hey, fuck, you want to get some Eric's? Like, there's a whole batch sitting over there at the shop." So I went over there and was like, "Fuck yeah, I can ride these."
Yeah, it's almost my size. Like, I can.
Took a 6.6 out first. I think it was like the first wave on it. Fucking longest backdoor wave of my life. So, you can't go wrong with either of those guys. Tokoro, Eric. But early days, some Carl Shoppers too.
Okay.
You know? Hell yeah. Shopper. Some of those guys. Bushman. All the low dogs.
Yeah, all the shapers. That's epic. And then, who's like your favorite surfers, and who was your idols growing up?
I mean, my idols growing up, obviously, were Bruce and Andy. Even though they're fucking hard to surf with sometimes. Yeah, I've seen those guys do shit in the water that I don't know. I haven't really seen some of the other top guys do yet. So forever will be probably Andy. But who we used to surf with on the regular was like, you know, Dustin Barca and Fuller and some of these guys. Slater, obviously, when we were kids, was amazing. And yeah, there's some underground guys around here too that were really good, and this never quite could. Their talent was there, but the North Shore is more than just talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's an arena.
Yeah.
It's a stage. So, like any stage, you have to be able to perform.
Yeah. Can you perform that?
That's what it was. Is like these guys surf. There was guys around here that probably surfed not just as good, but right there with Bruce and Andy them. And they just couldn't. Wasn't their cup of tea.
Right.
You know, to be surfing with that many people with that many eyes on them and stuff. So yeah, we got some good talent around here.
Quiet.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of amazing waves, amazing talent. Did you have anyone that kind of... Who was it when you were younger that showed you the ropes when you first showed up to the North Shore stuff? Did you have like a mentor or anything like that, or no?
Bro, when I showed up to North Shore, I was living in the fucking Volcom house with some of the gnarliest fucking guys on the North Shore. And,
How was that? How's that experience
like,
for you?
Even the next youngest guy was Tom Doslin, who was,
right.
You know, he's fucking 6 foot something. So, the first couple of years were pretty nuts, you know, and I had to pay a lot of dues and just. But we had legends like Mickey Nielsen hanging out, you know, who'd always offer some good tips. And, you know, there was times where it was fucking nuts, man, being around the house. And so, I just told myself, like, I kind of just, like, realized, fuck, the more I surf and the more I'm out in the water, A, I don't have to deal with as much shit on land, and B, there's that much more chance of me getting a good wave or photo, you know. So I was kind of it was hard knock, but like in a way it was good. It was motivating to just surf a lot.
Hard knock meaning like scary or like do like dishes or like what you mean?
I've fucking been called out by like fucking several of the boys.
You give a gnarliest story.
Yeah, what's the gnarliest story? We want to know. Like, what's one of the gnarliest? Okay,
so one of the gnarliest stories was. So at the time, we weren't even making money. I wasn't even making money.
Yes.
We were like living off this $500 food budget a month.
Okay.
From Volcom and
like $500 for how much? Just
for,
you
for
or
the
how?
house?
For the house.
So we do one trip to Costco.
Yes.
And the thing is eaten within 2 days.
right.
$500 worth of food. So me and Tom were over there scrounging, and so, you know, we had Uncle Mickey at the house and his chick and and she was like coming to the house late at night and kind of eating the food and doing laundry, and the washer and dryer were in the kitchen, and so you know, me and Tom were just like, fuck, this is gnarly, and she's leaving her dishes and we'd have to do them, and so me and Tom think it's a good idea to like go and lock the door one night and like put a couch behind it.
Oh my god!
So naive.
No, you didn't.
Stupid. So we do that, and at about like 1:30 in the morning, I kind of hear somebody outside like, who the fuck do these kids think they are? And I'm like, I wake up, and I'm like, holy shit. And I wake Tom up, and I'm like, Tom, bro, we gotta go fucking move the couch. We gotta open the door. So we go and open the door, and about like 20 minutes later, we're laying there. I don't hear him anymore. And all of a sudden, the door just gets fucking kicked in. It's like 2 in the morning. Boom, lights on, fucking, and they're just. Dude, Mickey just snapping at us, like level 12, losing his shit. You don't even fucking know. I fucking known fucking Volcom before it was Volcom, and I get fucking paid more than you fucking punks do. And he's showing us his check, and I'm like, bro, I don't even get paid. Bro, I don't even fucking get paid, bro. Like, and fucking Tom ended up getting slapped in the head.
No.
And it was just nuts, man. It was like, so they. You know, it's like he snaps at us. Tom gets slapped. Tom was on the bottom bunk. I was on the top. I like scrunched in the back of the corner. And so Tom was right there. So he copped the slap. But so then they leave, and I'm just like, fucking going home, Tom. I'm fucking going home, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit, bro.
yeah.
Fucking need this shit. And the next day, fucking Mickey comes, and he's all good. He's like, you know, hey, it's all. You guys need anything? Just let me know. You know, I'm here for you guys, you know, it's all good.
I'm here for you guys.
And I'm just like, brah, what? This guy was about to fucking pound us last night. Now we're all, now it's all good. But shit like that, you know, like there was multiple stories, but
that's just a little
nuts one.
That's gnarly. Well, you kids, bro. You guys don't even know, bro.
Yeah, but you know, it was like a surf fraternity, you know?
Right, it was. And it's kind of like you have to, like you said, you have to earn your stripes, and you have to earn, you know, you have to put in your time.
But it was also
respect.
It was sick, you know, like Kai would come by the house every morning at like 5. Freaking, we'd run the beach down to Keiki, just tap, come back, you know, do a bunch of calisthenics, fucking have to swim out to the lineup, no matter how big it was or small, come back in, you know, back then we weren't surfing with leashes, so it was just like this radical training program, you know.
Right.
It was insane. Best times of my life, 100%. I'd give my firstborn to go back in time.
No, he's kidding. But what was like you have like a favorite memory with all your friends, all the boys just partying? Like, what was like the best party, or like, do you have any like kind of
some
funny
of the,
memory like that?
Dude, some of the best memories were just, fuck, man, Andy just winning. You know, like between Andy and Bruce winning so much and being like so dominant and victorious. It literally was every contest. Those
Right, I
guys
remember
were either
every year.
winning or like making
finals.
the finals, and so just a lot of that, you know. And Vulcan was so hyped. They had their entertainment line going, so they always had a band coming out, and just always action right there, you know. Like, so just all those memories, you know. If it was Bruce's birthday, it was always pretty nuts. They always did a big old thing for Bruce's birthday. But yeah, just being young and hungry and just free. It was the best part about it all. And everybody was there doing the same thing, you know. And
Just chasing
and
the
Andy
dream.
Andy was just, it was just his time.
Yes.
He was so freaking so in tune with like himself and surfing, and it really brought a lot over our island, a lot of eyes, and it really it just really helped everybody out, you know, how good of a surfer he was doing at the time. I mean, what he was doing at the time, you know. So yeah, just times like that.
Nice. And then, got one more last question. Who do you think's gonna win this slab of the season from what you've seen all these guys surfing? And I know who the hot guys are. You see them, you see the clips and stuff. But who do you think will win if it's, if it's not you out there doing it?
Well, so far the waves that stand out the most are Joey Johnson and Benji Brand for the lefts. And
Right.
For the rights, obviously Koehne. So I think if I were to say who I'd like to win, probably a fellow Kauai boy. But I definitely have been noticing that kid Joey Johnson.
Joey Johnson.
That kid's fucking hungry.
He is, huh?
Yeah, he surfs good. Surfs good.
About,
You can tell he wants it.
well, so that's up there.
Yeah. And he's a North Shore boy, so it's a good story there too, man. Yeah, I get inspired for sure.
Do you remember your first spread and like, what magazine was it in?
So the
Or how-
first published like 2-page spread I ever had. I had gone to the North Shore.
Yes.
My senior year, and I was over there kind of surfing a little bit, and the waves got super sick at Backdoor one day, and I didn't really have a board to surf, and I was pretty bummed and just kind of sitting there like watching the waves fucking fire, and I was like, fuck. And Kamale was there, and we were both riding for Volcom, and he's like, "Fuck are you talking about? Like, take my 6'4" out, like,
Right.
fucking get out there." I'm like, "Fuck, all right." And guys like Tom Kern were out and shit. And, like, I was just kind of like starstruck, really.
That's so sick.
So yeah, just a crystal clear like 4 to 6 foot day at Backdoor, and I go out. I think Kern burned me my first like
No.
my first 2 waves. I never forget because he was wearing red shorts, and I was like, oh fuck. But then I was like, oh fuck, like Tom,
Hey, so
like,
Tom Kern burned me.
Tom Kern burned me, And then yeah, just like got a couple good waves, and fuck, next thing you know, like this surfing mag comes out, and fucking Volcom had ran it as a 2-page spread, just this crystal clear little backdoor runner. And at the time, I was only riding for Volcom, and I think maybe Locomotion, I'm not sure, but I had Kamale's board, and
Right.
so he was riding for Electric, and boom, I had all of his stickers showing, and Electric was so stoked on the photo, they ended up sponsoring me.
No way.
So that's how I got sponsored by Electric.
That's epic.
Like just being on one of Head's boards and getting a crystal clear photo with them, and yeah, they started sponsoring me and paying me, so that was cool. And that's kind of how it was back then. Is like you could make money off getting photos, off photo incentives and stuff. So
But-
yeah.
And talking about photos and photo incentives, back in the day when I was a girl, you guys would rouse each other like, "Oh, you're such a photo slut," this and that. And what was that meaning? Like, what was photo slut? Like, what was that all about? Like,
So yeah, a definition of a photo slut was just a surfer who chased the photo, who made a living, fucking hung with the photogs, communicated with the photogs, and just was ate, slept, and shit, fucking getting photos.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's pretty much what, like I think some of the first pioneers of that were probably like guys like Todd Chesser, right? Who were like surf big off the wall and just fucking get crazy photos. But then for me, it was like Danny Fuller was a good example and was one of my, I was right under those guys surfing, and he moved to the North Shore. And back then it was like the North Shore was the epicenter, and everybody just kind of congregated there, and you could go over there and one wave could make your whole career, and that's pretty much what happened with Danny. He was kind of sitting there each winter, kind of like just in the pocket, just kind of surfing, but hanging out. And then it was like, I think for him it was like one session he got this crazy wave of pipe, got a spread, and it was like, oh, okay, like who's this kid, and
right. That's
kind of like what could happen back then. You could just you hang out, you're kind of getting these waves and whatever, and blah blah blah, and the next like I said, like that one session where everybody went to that concert and I stuck out and got that crazy wave of pipe. It's like you just wait for your little window and get your freaking crazy wave, and next you're fucking either get a cover or multiple spreads or some crazy clip, and so a photo slut to me is just somebody who centered all their energy on just producing sick photos, and trying to get in the mags and get covers and shit.
And now these days it's
I was a pretty good photo slut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's epic, because these days it's called going viral.
Yeah.
You break the internet, it's like there's no photo sluts no more. You're going viral. It's just it's Instagram and TikTok.
It's a web slut.
That's a web slut. Yeah, that's a new one. That's the best. And then doing all that opened up opportunities for you to travel. So what was like some of your favorite surf trips and stuff doing that?
Yeah, so it was like back then it was just like you could get most of your work done for someone like me from Hawaii and just sort of focusing on that lane, not throwing a sprinkle in a couple contests here and there, but mainly chase the photo thing. But you do most of your work in a season on the North Shore, getting all these clips and photos, and then that kind of you don't do the tour, but there are some locations around the tour where the waves are slabby and heavy, and there's going to be a good roster of photographers there that work for the mag. So you just kind of show up, and some of those spots would be like Margaret River, Western Australia. For a while there, boom, North Shore ends, kind of rolls into like Australia, and then places like Tahiti, Chopo, where some of our friends we just go down there, and you basically just show up. You look at the maps. It's on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe make a couple phone calls. Hey, you're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. All right. Fucking,
I'll
we're
see
there.
you there. Okay, let's go.
You show up and you fucking just try to get nuts ones.
Right.
And then so basically you could just kind of just be on it with the swells and a couple of these key spots.
Yes.
And then you mix in like I said, you're in communication with the mags and the editors, and you maybe mix in like a surf trip where with surfing where they send a staff photographer and maybe a video guy, and they try to do a story, and it's like you're with Balcom, you got somebody with Rip Curl, somebody with Billabong, and
right.
So that's kind of what it was. You could just kind of go to these locations and just be in communication with some of the photographers, and they're going to be there, but basically it was you show up, and if you get the fucking wave, you're probably going to get the sickest shot per clip.
Right.
Either Chopo, the box.
All those great, all the slabs.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. And then I think that's it. I think that's good. We got it, yeah. Thanks, Steph.
Shoot.
Yeah. Thank you.
The only thing I would have loved is that if you would have been like,
wait, just
like during my off the wall time, like I'd always make sure I had my little chain and dark skin.
Yeah.
Oh, you said that earlier?
said
The
that.
fuck. Okay.
Green
Green eyes. What? He's fully
Because that is the truth.
Like, that's the truth. Like,
I was like,
bro, when we lived together for that 1 or 2 winters, like I just remember being like, "Oh, this guy's fucking on." Like that was his whole. Like I sucked at it. I was like, "This isn't my gig."